Yeah, I'll just make a land acknowledgement. I'd like to recognize that the area we call the Fraser Valley Regional District has been home to Indigenous peoples for generations. There are 31 communities with reserve lands in the FERD's jurisdiction, and as many as 69 groups with interests in the area. We honor our commitment to collaboration, inclusion, and reconciliation in our work here today and call to order the July 20th Electoral Area Services Committee meeting. Ms. Kinnaman.
So first up is your update from this morning's Regional and Corporate Services Committee meeting.
Yeah, this morning, a fellow by the name of Riley Smith from staff gave us a regional industrial lands inventory update presentation. Mr. Smith pointed out that the FBRD industrial lands are being developed very rapidly, making an inventory of what is the future supply very important. Mr. Smith went on to update the committee on their ongoing work and what the final report will include. Through director's questions, it was pointed out by staff that the importance of this report to provide a basis for a regional growth strategy and also a basis for a regional advocacy role. We went on to talk about the Sub-Regional Animal Control Service Area Amendment Bylaw. Director Horn from Mission was very supportive of the amendment and thanked staff, and Director Siemens also expressed his support. And that was pretty much the limit of the discussion in the open meeting. Thank you.
Okay, so looking for approval of the agenda, addenda, and late items.
Motion, move Director Johnson, second Director Dixon. Discussion, hearing none. All in favor? Contrary, motion carries.
Item 5.1, we're delighted to have a delegation here this afternoon with our newly appointed officer in charge for the Upper Fraser Valley Regional Detachment, Darren Pankratz.
Welcome.
Welcome, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for having me here. I think I was probably a late agenda item addition, so pleased to be here. One of the reasons I wanted to come today was really to provide an update to the regional district on the officer in charge position for the Fraser Valley Regional, or for the Upper Fraser Valley Regional Detachment. As many of you will know, the position was vacated back late December by Superintendent Lee as he accepted a position with FIFA, or we call it SCORE 26, because in the RCMP we have an acronym for everything, but don't ask me what it stands for because I can't remember. So Superintendent Lee vacated the position, and then Inspector Bapperman and I have been alternating and kind of taking turns in the acting interim role while the selection process carried through. 2 weeks ago yesterday, our officer staffing process was completed with the announcement of me landing in the superintendent's officer in charge position. So really excited at the opportunity and the path forward. Just as a bit of a backstory for me, I've been with the detachment for the last 3.5 years as the management and admin services officer. So although it doesn't sound terribly exciting, it's been an interesting role for me. It has me overseeing, in addition to a few exciting things like budget and HR, it's had me overseeing our Agassiz, Hope Boston Bar community police offices, as well as our Indigenous policing services. So, a large amount of the area within the Fraser Valley Regional District that's policed by UFVRD has already fallen under my kind of oversight as I oversee the various CPO commanders. So excited to continue the work, and really today wanted to just provide the update and the introduction. I understand that I'm scheduled to come back on September 18th to provide an update on BC on the Highway Patrol and the service delivery model for Highway 1 and some updates from BC Highway Patrol and their service delivery model. So I will be excited to come back and provide that. We should have a little bit more detail on that as we roll through the summer. So with the leadership of our detachment, my previous position as the Management Admin Services Officer is temporarily being filled by Staff Sergeant Mike Sargent. He is the CPO commander. He was the commander out in Agassiz. He's currently the commander in Hope. And as I've commonly joked about it, he suffers from the curse of competency, where when you prove to be competent, you're just rewarded by given more opportunity. So he has been selected to backfill in my position. So he'll be the interim leader until that position is staffed. Inspector Harinder Kelle remains as the operations officer. So that is essentially Chilliwack, all things general duty. And Inspector Jeff Bowerman is our operations support officer. So he oversees all of the larger investigative teams, and he is our accredited team commanding officer. So he looks after anything that we would call a benchmark offense. In other words, the very significant incidents that might happen anywhere within our regional detachment model. So that rounds out our current leadership. And then the last piece to that is Agassiz. We've got a new CPO commander coming into Agassiz. He'll be starting on August the 5th. Staff Sergeant Daryl Pepler, and he'll be arriving. We're getting him from Grand Forks as a promotion out of Grand Forks. There's been a bit of a delay. I don't know what the real estate market looks like in Grand Forks, but apparently it's not good. So it's taken him a little while to sell his house. So he will be arriving August 5th, and he comes to us as a detachment commander already, so well versed in commanding kind of smaller detachments. We're looking forward to his addition. Corporal Jaden Courtney is also in charge of our Indigenous policing portfolio. He's currently acting as the sergeant in charge of both our Indigenous policing services, which services the communities with a CTA. And then he also oversees our urban Indigenous liaison team, which is for the non-CTA communities. So those are the updates to our leadership team. Couple of the priorities that we're looking at as we roll through the summer. I know RV and homeless encampments are becoming an increasing challenge throughout the regional district. We've recently seen success with the dismantling at the Swali First Nation. We also understand that that has rippling effects outside of the nation itself. And so taking a hard look at some of those encampment and strategies around that is a priority for us as we roll through the summer. That's something we're going to be looking hard at. We also understand that the RV encampments also create a fire hazard. We've had good, healthy discussions with Hope Fire Department, who've created an interactive map that I've shared with the regional district as well with the emergency management team. And that's a good kind of platform for us to start looking as to how do we continue to collect intelligence. So that's a strategy we're going to look at moving forward, and it's still certainly high on our radar. Body-worn cameras are an initiative that's coming to the Upper Fraser Valley Regional Detachment. We were slated to get them in June. That whole initiative is now being pushed down the road, and it's going to be delayed. So there will not be body-worn cameras being deployed anywhere within our regional detachment until spring of next year. Somewhere between March and April is kind of the window that we're looking at. And we'll have a little bit more information as we come to ground on that and as the deployment team updates us. But at this point, the delay is largely due to Crown capacity and some information sharing between police and the data on the camera and being able to disclose that. So those are things that are coming, but it's going to be delayed. And then lastly, we've got on the communication side. So we've got a new Sergeant Media Relations Officer, Sergeant Alexandra Mulheville. I'll be bringing her with me in September. She can do her own introductions. She's our spokesperson. But we're excited to add her to the team and really looking forward to expanding our media and particularly our social media presence. And so that's something that we're looking forward to doing in conjunction with the FVRD as we move forward, just both in responsive communication as well as proactive. And so I'll open it up to any questions, but I didn't otherwise have a formal presentation for today. I just really wanted to come and introduce myself and provide those updates.
Well, thank you. That's a very nice introduction, Mr. Pankratz. Directors, any questions or comments? Director McElhaney.
Just congratulations on your new role and look forward to continue working on the homeless issues with Area E&H. Thank you very much.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Okay, Director Dixon.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you very much for the presentation. And I certainly echo do appreciate the work checking out those encampments in Area H and working to keep that all of us safe. So I think that's an amazing thing. And just wanted to double check. Could you able to tell me the number of summer policing that I know it's not just for Cultus Lake, but for Cultus Lake, Chilliwack River Valley, etc.
Yeah, so what we've got is we've got Constable Curtis Oates as our identified team lead, and he's doing a great job. So he is an acting supervisory, acting corporal capacity. And then we've got one member per watch, so that brings us up to a total of 5, supplemented then by additional seasonal budget. So we're able to exceed the agreement is for one member for the funding model is for one member spread over the course of 12 months, which obviously we then condense down into 4 members for 3 months. However, we also leverage provincial seasonal policing budgets, and so we're able to supplement that, particularly for long weekends and higher traffic areas. So right now, our focus is twofold. It is on the lake and the surrounding area as one entity, as well as traffic flow and traffic coordination as a separate entity. So right now, what we do is we're tracking the financial aspects of those. So at the end of season, we'll be able to provide a full update as to how many resource hours we've spent in that initiative, as well as what's the funding model that we've spent both in our Cultus Lake and surrounding area, as well as separate from the traffic initiative, because we see those as 2 separate issues.
Okay, thanks very much. Appreciate it.
Good. Thank you, Director Dixon. Director Adamo, are you there with us? I see a hand.
I am. Thanks very much. And I apologize for not having video. I'm having a very stupid operational day. So I've had it 3 times on 3 different Zooms, but not right now. Thank you very much, Mr. Pankratz. That was nice to meet you. I think I met you in Hope, one of the open houses. My question is very similar to Director Dixon's with relation to rural policing on long weekends. We had a trial up in the Sunshine Valley, which is part of my area, and understand that we may still be able to be doing that on the long weekends when our population grows by 10 to 20 fold. Is that still in the plans and in the works for areas like this with rural policing and ATV usage?
Yes, we have got ATV, and we've got our next round of backcountry police enforcement initiative coming up actually the weekend before the long weekend. Part of the challenge really is if I had an RCMP cloning device, I would tell you I'd be the most successful supervisor in the planet. But unfortunately, just finding resources as far as personnel to work these various events can be challenging without overburdening or burning out our people. So what we've decided to do is we're doing a backcountry initiative the weekend before the long weekend. So off the top of my head, I think that's like July 25 or something without looking at a calendar. So that weekend before, we're going to have a presence both in Hope as well as in this area around Cultus and some of those areas to do another backcountry initiative, really to remind the public about safe ATV, safe backcountry usage, both as riding, as fire prevention, kind of the whole gambit. So, and then we're hoping that the ripple effect for that will go straight into the long weekend, because we're also then using those resources in enhanced long weekend patrols. And so not necessarily for the long weekend focusing in on the backcountry specifically, but looking at our kind of more populated, denser areas where we do see the tourist activity and the traffic flow. So we will have an enhanced presence out for the long weekend. But what we're going to do is we're just to manage resources as best we can. We're going to separate the backcountry and the ATV piece out from the long weekend kind of tourist enforcement, if that makes sense.
Thanks very much.
Good. Thank you, Director Adamo. Director Wardenberg.
Excuse me. Yeah, just a quick question. There was an initiative last year on Morris Valley Road with the Stahelis First Nation, where you did a pilot project, I believe, as far as enforcement or an educational roadblock for people heading to the West Harrison area. Is that in the cards again this year? Do you know?
And that area is policed by our Agassiz CPO office. And so the challenge right now is, to be blunt, we're dealing with some fairly significant resourcing challenges. So we did do that pilot project, and I remember that. But we may not be able to include Agassiz in the upcoming ATV initiative. The reason for that is that we're down a few officers. We did have a recent incident in Agassiz where there was a police-involved shooting. And so now we've got a few officers that are off going through the process of them returning back to work. So that has hampered our resources a little bit at the Agassiz office. So we may not be able to do an initiative coming up in the Agassiz for this round, but we will be doing another one later in August.
Good. Thank you, Director Wardenberg. So the only thing I would add, and I think this is probably a little below your wheelhouse, but I understand that up at the Black Wall Trailhead in Manning Park last weekend, there were 17 vehicles broken into. And this has been going on forever in our trails up in the Chilliwack River Valley, et cetera, and whether there's anything that could be done about that.
That I can look into. It was the Black Walls Trailhead, you said?
That's my understanding, yeah.
I do not know the answer to that, but I can get back to it.
I don't, is that even in your jurisdiction up there? Or?
No, not, we don't do the Manning Park side specifically. We stop right by the snow shed area, but I can double check exactly whether that fell within, whether that trailhead. I'm not familiar with that trailhead
Okay.
specifically, so
Yeah, I think it's up near the lodge at Manning Park.
It's close.
Yeah, okay, great. Thank you
So,
very much
yeah.
once again, and we'll look forward to seeing you again in September.
My pleasure. And what I'll do is I will email out to the CAO. I'll email my updated contact information. My email and my cell phone haven't changed, so if you've got that, that's the same. My desk phone has just changed a little bit, but other than that, I am readily available and looking forward to continue the work that we've started together.
Great, thanks again. Ms. Kinnaman.
So moving to item 6.1, we have the draft Electoral Area Services Committee meeting minutes of June the 5th, 2025.
For a motion, move Director Makahonic, second Director Wardenberg. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor? Contrary? Motion carries.
7.1 is the 2025 UBCM staff meeting requests.
For information.
Note, there is a motion for your consideration.
For a motion. Move Director Dixon, second Director Wardenberg. Discussion. Hearing none. All in favor? Contrary? Motion carries.
8.1 is Financial Plan 2025 to 2029 Amendment for July.
Motion, Director Makahonic, second Director Johnson. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor? Contrary? Motion carries.
9.1 is Agricultural Land Commission Applications 2025-03 and 2025-04 for ALR inclusion at 41063 North Nacommon Road in Electoral Area G.
Move Director Castle, second Director Davidson. Thank you. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, contrary, motion carries. Pardon my age.
9.2 is Agricultural Land Commission Application 2025-08 for a boundary adjustment subdivision between 8931 and 9079 Sylvester Road in Electoral Area G.
Once again, Director Castle moves. Second Director Davidson. Got it. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, contrary, motion carries.
9.3 is Development Variance Permit 2025-06 to increase building height from 7.75 meters to 9.32 meters for 4490 Estate Road in Electoral Area E. And I will just remind the committee that comments on this item were circulated via email earlier this week.
Director Makahonic. Moves.
I move to make another motion that we support the development variance permit with the same address.
Okay.
Did talk to, I guess I'll just do that.
Look for a
Okay.
seconder. Yep.
Yeah.
Second Director Johnson. Discussion. Director Makahonic.
Yeah, so I when I saw this come out, I spoke to staff, and that particular neighborhood is a bit distinct, and there's a lot of, I think if you read the information on it, a lot of the houses are of that height anyway. So out of 30 houses, I think 17 are over height with the new bylaws. So I think the neighborhood aesthetic wouldn't change. I don't think that there's a lot of room to build more housing. So and speaking to staff, they didn't seem opposed to this. So I'm gonna recommend that we support giving them the development variance permit.
Okay. Thank you, Director Makahonic. Any further discussion? Director Dixon.
I just would like to hear a little bit from staff maybe on, is, is there anything problematic if we were to issue, um, their permit rather than refuse it?
Mr. Danilowitz.
Thank you. Through the chair to Director Dixon. Staff don't have strong concerns in that respect. If the board is interested in issuing the permit, then that would be option 2 in the staff report. The staff recommendation really comes from the less about technical concerns with the proposed height and more about from a bylaw administration perspective and thinking about what sorts of rationales would justify a variance. So staff were of the opinion that there isn't a compelling rationale and that the owners of the property could build under the existing bylaw comfortably. But we don't have technical concerns with the proposed height. And as I said, if the board is looking to issue the permit, then option 2 in the staff report would be the one.
Good. Thank you, Mr. Danilowitz. Director McMahon's mic is on. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor? Contrary? Motion carries.
9.4 is Area C Official Community Plan Update, consideration of second reading bylaw number 1747.
Move Director Wardenberg, second Director Johnson. Any discussion? Director Wardenberg.
I'll just thank you to staff. Very detailed, very comprehensive report. Yeah, I have nothing to add and have no questions.
Thank you, Director Wardenberg. Any further discussion? Director Davidson.
Thank you. Just an observation. To date, I haven't seen any indication of any support at all from the Lake Eric community on this. So yes, it'll. I agree it should go forward to public hearing. The outcome of that will in all likelihood drive my decision as to whether to support future hearings or future readings on this plan. Thank you.
Good. Thank you, Director Davidson. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, contrary, motion carries.
9.5 is update to the framework of considering soil-related applications and referrals.
A motion, move Director McMahon, second Director Johnson, I think. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, contrary, motion carries.
9.6 is zoning amendment bylaw number 1799 to introduce a new definition for tourist accommodation unit and permit tourist accommodation uses with interior access. There is a motion for your consideration.
Looking for a mover. Dixon, second. Director Wardenberg. Oh, well, better get Director Adamo on the record here. Discussion. Director Dixon.
It's just really hard to see Director Adamo, isn't it? Anyway, I just want to thank the staff for working on this. I think it does make sense to the whole area to have this text amendment. So thanks for your efforts.
Good. Thank you, Director Dixon. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Contrary, motion carries.
Moving down to reports by staff, I just wanted to take a moment to introduce the committee to one of our newer staff members, Trevor Lucy. He doesn't know that I was going to be identifying him, so surprise. Trevor joined us as an accountant in our finance team, so some of you may have opportunity to work with him in the months ahead on various things, including budgets and grants and aid. So welcome to Trevor, joining local government and coming up to speed very, very quickly.
So where is Trevor coming from? You were a CPA here privately or in government? Okay. Well, welcome. Ms. Kinnaman.
Now moving to reports by electoral area directors.
Dr. Johnson, would you like to start?
Thank you, Chair. So I attended Keeping It Rural conference. Enjoyed hearing from various groups. One was a group of elite foresters talked about the future of forestry in BC. We heard about Indigenous community forestry and wildfire resilience planning. Also heard from
some shared perspectives and insights on rural agriculture and food sovereignty. And there was also a panel that discussed sustainability of tourism. Then I also was attended a meeting with MLA Tony Luck, along with the mayor of Lytton and the owners of Cumsheen Rafting and a few others to discuss tourism in the canyon. And I also participated in a workshop to do with the Fraser Canyon geohazard risk mapping. And that's about it. Thank you.
Good. Thank you, Director Johnson. Director Wardenberg.
Yeah, quick report. I was able to join Diane and Patty on that trip to that conference, Keeping It Rural. I learned a lot. It was very informative. Different opinions from different areas of the province, and not so much from the regional directors down here, but definitely different views from the electoral area directors up north, for sure. And some of the rural town, small town mayors had very informative opinions on different things. I had a chance to attend the Community Futures meeting, the AGM in Mission, and had a Zoom call with our MLA, Mr. Tony Luck, recently, just in regard to some issues, mostly regarding Area C was the leasehold issues on Harrison Lake, the increases of the leasehold rates by the province. And that's it for me. Thank you.
Good. Thank you, Director Wardenberg. Director Dixon.
Well, we have been having a lot of fun times going on in my area. There's attended the Fishing Derby and Cultus Lake Day and Canada Day in Columbia Valley, and all of them were really well supported by the community. And it was just a fun day. It was great. I had a meeting with our MLA War Bus about Blue Creek and the project and the construction, and there are some community concerns about that. And so we're trying to sort those out, and hopefully there's different perspectives around what the province said it was going to do and what it is going to do. So I think that's what we're working on with that. It's summertime. There's lots of people up at the lake. It's busy, and just really encouraging people to take their time coming and going and slow down and enjoy the beautiful area. Thank you.
Good. Thank you, Director Dixon. Director Makahonic.
Thank you. So I been a really busy month. I too attended the rural conference, Keeping It Rural, and it was very interesting. I really get a lot out of those meetings, the panels, the different viewpoints of people, and I was also able to speak to the situation with my residents again, and the Minister of State for Local Governments and Rural Communities, Brittany Anderson, was there. She asked to meet. And of course, I jumped at that opportunity, and we met, and I had a great conversation with her about the situation, which she said she was taking forward to the Minister of Emergency Management, Kelly Green, but I have not heard back on that. I've met with the residents, still strategizing, and on ways to move their situation forward. I've met with MLA Warbus on she's really taken an interest, which is really quite helpful. And yesterday was able to meet with the Ministry of Transportation. The meeting was set up as a result of a letter I sent a few weeks back, 6 weeks ago, maybe. And anyway, and I was just really pleased that our MLA asked to be included in the meeting. And I had a really bad headache yesterday, and I just wasn't really on 100%. And I have to say that Ms. Kenneman and especially Mr. Danilus really did an outstanding job on that meeting, and I can't thank them enough. I'm very invested into supporting the residents, and he navigated the way to move the position forward in the forms of questionings and accountability. So I really appreciate that. I was able to attend the Climate Disaster Project Clay as a participant, which is something new to me, stretching my horizons a little bit, again, to move forward, the human side, the humanity of what happens to people in climate disasters, and just keep that awareness going. So I was really pleased to do that, and been developing a relationship with Sean Holman out of the University of Victoria. They're doing some amazing work in that area. And we've gone through, I saw the rural homeless situation out in the Chilliwack River Valley. I've been working on that pretty much since my term started, and are on our third RCMP co-chair. So now we have Grant Flores, and so he's on, and really pleased that Director Dixon is attending too, because when we're looking at some of the issues like fires caused and that, there is no barrier or line that, I mean, this affects everyone. But the stakeholders meeting this time, I was really pleased. We had a very, very good participation. A lot of people showed up, and there was some really good kind of a discussion. Our MLA showed up. We had Chilcoyac, we had representatives from Sewali, we had all the different ministries. So I thought it was fairly productive. Last but not least, our fire department, our calls are up from last year, and we haven't really got into the hot weather. We did have a human cause, I believe human cause, fire, not within the last week, by Riverside Campground on the other side of the river, and up by Post Creek. And our fire department was able to put it out before the BC wildfire got there, which was nice, because then they get paid for the call out. And but they're doing a really good job. And I meet monthly with our fire chief, and we're working on some different things to support community. So just really thankful. They're doing a great job, and want to make a shout out to them. Thank you.
Good. Thank you, Director Makahonuk. Director Davidson.
Nothing for me. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Director Castle.
Thank you, Chair Dickey. The new bridge in Dudney is open, and the old bridge in Dudney is coming down very quickly. It appears the project is moving forward ahead of schedule, so that's good news. The blueberries are being harvested, and the corn is growing quickly. The cows are outstanding in their field in Area G. Have a good summer, everyone.
Starting to sound like Director Stobart. Thank you. Director Donald.
Thanks very much. And once again, I apologize for having no video. Can't seem to figure this one out. It's been a tremendously busy month as we head into the summer. We have a very rare reopening of the Yale Ratepayers Group to accommodate a meeting that I arranged with Staff Sergeant Sargent, who will be coming out next Monday, July 14th, to meet with the residents of Yale and that entire region. I'd also like to invite Director Johnson, if she would like to attend 7 o'clock on Monday, because he will be answering questions and seeking information from all concerned citizens from that area and the Boston Bar region as well. That'll be 7 o'clock. I had a meeting with MLA Luck, and a number of us were in attendance. Director Davidson was there, Director Wardenberg was there, Mayor and CAO of Harrison, Mayor Smith, acting mayor from Kent. And it was an interesting agenda in that it was set up by MLA Luck, and I've asked for in the future meetings that we will have as a get together that we all have an opportunity to produce our own agenda items for areas that could be overarching and areas that could be individual as well. So he's appreciated that, and we'll be taking that into account for the next one. Wanted to thank the entire team at Fraser Valley Regional District for participating and organizing the Canada Day celebration in Hope. It was well attended. The band was outstanding. Everyone had a great time. Thanks to Bryn and Mike for all the hard work and all of the staff that came together for that. And as well, I want to thank our Fire Smart team, Andrew and his team, for getting one more area fire smarted in the Sunshine Valley in Alpine. So that was great. We got it complete as of yesterday. So that's pretty much it. We'll see everyone in a couple of weeks again. I will have my video fixed or be there in person. So thank you.
Good. Thank you, Director Adamo. Director Johnson.
Thank you, Chair. My apologies. I neglected to mention that Canada Day was well attended by the community at the Elmer Carlson Pool in North Bend. It included a barbecue and games and of course swimming, and it was a very hot day. So thanks to everyone that helped with that.
Good. Thank you, Director Johnson. Director Donald's hands up. Guessing not for any report.
Apologies.
No problem. And I have nothing to report on the Popcom area. Thank you, Ms. Kinnaman.
Okay, so moving to public question period for items relevant to the agenda, we'll just turn things over to our Deputy Corporate Officer, Laura Nolanik.
Thank you. We do have a few members of the public joining in person and online today, so this would be your opportunity to ask a question regarding an item on the agenda. And for those participating online, I would just ask that you hit the raise hand function if you would like to speak. And we have not received any written questions, and it appears there are no online questions.
Wonderful.
So that takes us to adjournment, Chair.
Thank you. Motion to adjourn. Move Director Wardenberg, second Director Johnson. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor? Contrary? Motion carries. Thank you, staff. Thank you, directors. Thank you, public.